the reason for this whole video.
Da-da-da-da!
Is it happened? Da-da-da-da! Hi, welcome to our channel at We Are Ocampo. If you're new here, please subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at We Are Ocampo. Hello, hello, hello.
How are you all? So thank you so much for watching our previous video about the big news that we're about to share with you, that we've already shared with you according to the title. Thank you so much. You know what really surprised me the most was that most people in the comments of the last video asking you, what do you think is our big news? Most of you said, we believe you're building a house or you've bought a house. I'm like, wow. Guys, you have wonderful thoughts towards us. Thank you so much.
Yes, we claim that. God willing, the next video will be about that.
Next
Name it.
video.
Yeah, you have to claim it and possess it,
my.
declare it. Yes, new land, new house, God willing. But no, that's not the big news today.
Yes.
The big news is we've gotten a new member of our family.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank
A
you,
new
Lord.
child joining our family. It is
Yes.
such a big change, a life-changing event, and we wanted to
Absolutely.
share with you
Yes.
this wonderful news. We thank God for it. Of course, we're so happy about it, and that is what we're gonna talk about today, of how that came about.
Absolutely. So for the longest time, I have been desiring to have another child, but you do know I have very bad pregnancies. If you do not know what pregnancies I have, it's called the hyperemesis gravidarum. Please check out the video here where I talk in detail about it. And so we have just horrible pregnancies. I said we because he's pulled in the 9 months with me, and
We're pregnant together.
We're always pregnant together. Actually, that's one thing you need, is a supportive partner during those difficult pregnancies. We don't believe it. We did it 4 times. You know, it's just by the grace of God
Amen.
that we did it. But we've always wanted so many children. In fact, when we were still single, you know, that's one thing we said, you know, we'll have many children. But so yeah, we just thank God that the desire came in me for the longest time, and I shared with him, what do you think about having another child? And you know,
Yeah, when she was telling me that she really desired another baby once we had theophany, I was like, no problem. I want to have a lot of kids. You know, I come from a family of 12. We're 12 children. And I said, that's wonderful, but thinking about the difficulty where we're going to be tied down for 9 months, and it's really, she's on bed rest. She'll be on bed rest every day. All our lives will be put to a stop, and it just so much pain for her. I was like, no, that's really not an option. And for the longest time, she kept on, you know, inferring and sounding out that she wanted another baby, so that we get pregnant again. But then
not to get pregnant. I've never wanted to get pregnant again.
okay, not in that way. She just was expressing
I need
that she
another
wanted
child.
another child, and so she came around that to the reality that no, it's not gonna happen through pregnancy anymore. And that's when this topic of getting
I
a
can still conceive, by the way. I can still conceive.
Yes,
Yes.
of course. But we just don't want that to happen again because of getting sick 9 months. So once she's accepted that reality, then she started now talking about getting a child, you know, either through adoption or having somebody, or taking in a child, or other ways except through pregnancy, carrying it term. I was even saying, if you know, the other people are doing this surrogacy where you just pay someone to carry your child. Of course, that's a big debate in Christian circles. Some don't believe in it, some believe in it, some say it's okay. So it's a whole debate. But it's also very expensive, by the way. Plus, there are other issues of that. So we've accepted that it's not gonna happen through pregnancy, but she still kept insisting. So then she started talking about getting a Filipino pure Filipino child. I was like, what? Then you were mentioning that Zuriel is the only son, that he needs a brother, and
he does.
He does, yes. Surrounded by ladies, by sisters. So even me, I want that for him. But it was mainly her, Reverend Liz, who was bringing that up, that she wants another child. She knows there's that fifth child out there for our family that is coming. And then she started talking about getting a pure Filipino child. I was like, really? She's like, yes, I'm desiring a Filipino boy, a baby boy, to come and join us. And I'm just I wasn't, first it was news to me. It's like all new, and thinking about it, because just it's kind of weird to get another a child from outside to come into the family. So just thinking about that. And of course, there are wonderful, beautiful, and all of the stories there of adoption and the challenges they go through. It's a beautiful story of how God is uniting other families there, life-changing. But I just wasn't sure that I was ready for that, especially when they grow up and later on. My concern was they might start looking for their biological parents, like, oh, you're not my real dad, or you're not my real mom.
That will always happen. Let's agree that will always happen.
Yes, that's true. And I guess it's part
especially when they look at me, you're not my mother.
Yeah. So they're all going to see, obviously, the skin is different. So that was my concern. Of course, that will happen, and that's part of the process. It's still a beautiful process. For me, I just wasn't sure of if I wanted to go through that, or if I was ready, or if that would be like the best scenario for that child and for us. And then of course thinking about the other kids, Tihila, Zuriel, Tandy, and Theophany. They're already like very competitive with each other, as siblings. That there's that usual and normal dynamic in the relationship. Of course, as siblings, fighting for toys and just bickering and fighting as siblings. So I'm just worried about if another person, from the outside, a child, of course, someone you want to protect also, will join in, and how that will break. So I was not cold to the idea, but I was just kind of taking a step back and hearing her, listening to her, just really, then she kept on talking about it for months and months, and then a year, still talking about it, and she never stopped, So it has just kind of been marinating.
Before I met you, I've been talking about this. Because recently when I broke it to my friends, they said, you finally did it. I said, right, I've been having this desire since I was young. They're like, yeah. My friends are the ones who reminded me that since in my early 20s as a teenager, that I always talked about adoption, and adopting. And so they're like, wow, you stuck to your word. you did. I said, the desire was always deep inside. So even when I was breaking the news to the family, my sister Grace was like, oh, you've always wanted a Filipino child, I said, yeah, right, this is not new. They're like, yeah, you've always been talking about it ever since we know you. So I'm like, yeah. So yeah, this is really something that has been my desire, and I'm just so grateful to God that finally it is here.
Yes, and so it's been a conversation happening. And again, in the Philippines, there are people, we have a lot of like children. There are children homes, and there are organizations that do this. So I was aware that it's an option, whether taking in or what. And then whenever we would go to Manila, and in the streets, some street dwellers there was a time we were going to the immigration, and in Manila, in the underpass, oh my goodness, it would just break your heart. A newborn baby was just left on the sidewalk. Of course, the parents or the guardians were there, but they were not in the vicinity. They had left her maybe for some minutes, and they put her like on the stairs, literally on the stairs, and she or he was so tiny, and just next to the table of the snacks that was being sold and the cigarettes, that the baby was put just on the stairs in such a way there were no even barriers or even like a small flimsy box just to guard the baby. So if you were in a rush and it's a rush hour, you could just step on the baby just like that, because the baby was just on flat ground and nobody was there guarding. Maybe the mom was there guarding, but she had to go out. So when we passed by, she was just literally on the steps. Can you imagine? So whenever we would see cases like that, she would be like, "Oh, can we just take in that baby?"
I just wanted to grab him. I'm like, "You're mine now."
That would be kidnapping.
I know.
But yeah, so she would really tell me, "Oh, let's just get that child." And she was,
I'll be in a jeep and I see the little boys. I'm like, "Come on, let me take you in."
Again, Filipino babies. I was like, okay, it's nice for her to be having that heart of being open to get, or to take in a Filipino child, a pure Filipino child, because our kids are mixed race, obviously. Duh. So she would just tell me, and there was a hint of seriousness in her.
Huh? You thought there was a hint of joking?
She would tell me, she was with a dead serious face, like, if those parents or if somebody would just give me their child, I'll really take them in. And I'm still like, I wasn't very eager for the idea. And so that's what has been going on, and we continued, and then finally, the reason for this whole video is it happened. We were blessed with a child, not from her womb, of course. Somebody to join our family. Somebody has joined our family.
Yes, thank you, Jesus. Guys, rejoice with us. Woo.
Our family is now bigger. So now we have 5 kids. You will see this precious.
A quiver is full. A quiver of arrows takes 5 arrows. So finally,
just recently, not many days ago, we've been blessed with a child, and so we thank God for that. Somebody has joined our family. We've taken this wonderful, precious blessing into our family. We're not gonna say the gender yet. That's gonna be part of the surprise. Gender reveal.
Go ahead and write your guesses.
But she's not pregnant.
I'm not pregnant. Thank you also for those who wish I was pregnant. No, thank you. But yeah, go ahead and take your guesses. Is it a boy or is it a girl?
Yes. This wonderful bundle of joy, when we were taking this child in, guess what? It was me, surprisingly, who was more eager. Not that she was less eager, but I was really, my energy was so up. I was like, no questions at all. There's no grilling. I didn't do any of the interrogation and background or questioning that I was busy grilling her throughout this like a year and a half of process. When it finally happened, I didn't even ask one question. Can you believe? I was just like, open arms, our home is open, definitely, yes, everything, yes, and just pulling this wonderful person, this new child, this wonderful bundle of joy, this big blessing to our family, and just integrating sounds like a computer software program. Integrating or assimilating, adapting, adapt with an A, not with an O. Adapting into the family, assimilating, just making sure that everything is working fine. So I was surprised with myself, I talked so much. I talked a lot before it happened. When it finally happened, it was my heart that was really touched. I don't want to say more because I'm sure she is too.
Oh
right?
yes, my heart is full. It's so full, and it's been a while. So it didn't happen. Then we just came and said, okay, let's bring it to the channel. No, it's been more than a month that the child has been with us. Bundle of joy. We're so happy. Just fits in a puzzle. Like just fits so well with us, and we're just so grateful to the Lord that. We get another opportunity to be stewards of a whole human.
Yes, of course. We've already let our family, the church, meet this new member of our family.
Yeah, and everybody loves the child so much. In fact, sometimes I am like, wow, you guys, always be crying up and down, like, oh, and so. Everybody just fallen in love with the child.
Yes.
I'm just so grateful, and we cannot wait to reveal. So that's a whole other reveal. But for now, go ahead and write your guesses on the gender, the age, also, and our children's reactions. We can't wait to show you their reactions so far. So next video, please don't forget to watch it.
And another thing, of course, yes, we can tell you right now, this wonderful child, this big blessing is, of course, pure Filipino. It will be hard to get
100%.
biracial.
I think our next number 6 should be a pure Kenyan.
Oh wow, you've not stopped. Now you're on to the next one. Oh my goodness. One day at a time, Lord.
Now we need a pure Kenyan.
Oh my. Are you trying to have a United Nations in this house? Oh my goodness.
All right.
Better watch out. I think y'all should just be hiding your child, your babies from Reverend Liz. When you see her walking, just walk the other way.
I actually never knew that I had that mother nature in me, because when I was single, I was not all about children. I never even changed the diaper. The first diaper I changed was my child.
Wow, auntie.
My sister. I know. See my brother's kids. Immediately they poop. Here's your child. It was more my sisters were more motherly.
So what would you do for them?
I really was. I was just that auntie who buys things and the cool auntie, and then I disappear.
You buy for them dresses and
so this side of me is also surprising to me. Like I find now my days is really jam-packed with being a mother.
Does it have to do with age? Is that because you're growing older?
I don't think so. But anyway, I think I'm maturing in Christ, is what I can say.
Wow.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for rejoicing with us.
I hope you're rejoicing with us.
I know some people will be hating on us because every time they just see us with 4 children. Why do you guys have so many children? Are you going to provide for them? Are you going to pay all their school fees? I'm like, hey, and my God, shouts apply. All my needs according to his riches in glory. Come on, somebody, let's clap for those riches in glory that we're tapping into. So even financially, we're just praying that God will be able to help us just go through this new journey in our lives. Again, our lives are changing 180 degrees, and we're just so grateful for it, and we're so happy. This is really another next step in our lives, and we're grateful to God. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and may God
truly bless you.
Don't forget to comment down below.